910. Now, let me give you a rewind of the week before we get into our topic of discussion. This morning, we are going to talk about the position of the youth in the body politic of our country. We know certainly that there's going to be, you would call it a re-election, or is it a rerun or a repeat of the Chairperson Youth League in the NRM. The biggest contest is between Tanga Collins, the son of the Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Tango Doi, and Miss Brenda Chichoncho. And we are waiting to see how that goes. But going by what we see in these different political organizations, how are the youths positioned? Have they been given an equal share? Or do their voices matter in some of these spaces? That's what we're going to be talking about this morning. And to help me discuss this and much more is Bruce Wakonda, Big Seat, a member of the National Resistance Movement, Musat Kwatanese, member of the Patriotic League of Uganda, and now Assistant RDC. He will tell us a little bit more about that. Peter Mpaka, who is a member of the National Interplatform. I have a guest engineer at Kwasa, Ronald, and I'm happy to see him. And we have the Assistant Dean of RDC's Omujugu Mufachinanye Moses. But the recap of the week, the people of Toro celebrated the 30th coronation anniversary, known as Mpango, commemorating the day King Oyo ascended to the throne just about 3 years old. And we congratulate the people of Toro, but mainly the King Oyo King Oyo Nyimba Kabamba Iguru. But the sound on the Mpango was, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? I think it's about 33 now. So everyone wants the king married. We are waiting to see that happen. President Museveni hosted His Royal Highness Rakim, the Aga Khan V, and at State House, and he was accompanied by his brother Prince Ali Muhammad Aga Khan and sister Princess Zahra Aga Khan. The Aga Khan is the 50th hereditary Imam of the Ismail Muslims, and he was here for a groundbreaking of the Aga Khan Hospital. We know the Aga Khan has billions of shillings of investments here in our country, from the Daily Monitor to Serena Kampala Hotel, the Aga Khan Hospital, to the schools, to big in insurance, in literally in every sector of our economy. The Aga Khan has an investment, so we know what it means for him to be here and how many jobs he has created for our people. Now, our 21 new members of the General Court Martial were named. They'll be headed by Brigadier General Richard Tukachungurwa, who was named the chairperson of the General Court Martial. Now we know, fully constituted. They're only waiting to be sworn in, and then we see how it goes. The International Criminal Court in The Hague sat for the confirmation of charges hearing against warlord Joseph Kony of the Lord's Resistance Army. And then Uganda is marking 30 years since the making of the 1995 constitution, leading up to the 8th of October when it was promulgated. That one, this month is when CSAT and all the debates that were happening to make sure that we get a fine product, that the paper that we eventually ended up with on the 8th of October in 1995 there. Then National Resistance Movement submitted 2.2 million signatures to the Electoral Commission across from all across the districts of Uganda. Then National Unity Platform's deputy spokesperson Alex Weiss from Mufumbiru and other members of the party were arrested and remanded to prison for organizing a parade that happened at the party headquarters earlier this year. Then the NRM, like I stated, will be repeating the Youth League chairperson's vote. And we know there's a death that shook the world. There's a political activist, conservative man in Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated by a 22-year-old Taylor Robinson in Utah there in the United States. This man has been a center of controversy. The moment he was declared dead, there were celebrations in a section of that society and across the world. This man was extreme right, those that have studied political science, the conservatives, those that anti-abortion, anti-homosexuality, and name it. They were the ones that lost Charlie Kirk. And he was a very staunch ally of the U.S. President Donald Trump. We are following that closely, but at least they were able to abreast the young man who was caught up in this situation. Good morning, Musat Kwatans, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, my brother Banyaji. Good morning to our comrades here in the studio, and good morning to our dear listeners. My name is Musat Kwatanse, the political antidote, NRM General Secretary for the Shema District Youth League, and the Assistant Resident District Commissioner for Rwampara District. I first of all want to congratulate my people of Rwampara for a warm welcome, and I assure them that together we shall make Rwampara great in accordance with the NRM revolutionary principles and the requirements of the NRM agenda.
And also, now that you're a civil servant, I bet you're supposed to be speaking differently. Because now, being a civil servant and paid rightly from the consolidated fund, you're supposed to be anti-color, neutral, and anti-party.
Yes. Being a civil servant does not take away my rights as a Ugandan, and of course, as a true patriot who subscribes to the Patriotic League of Uganda, I must front what I see promotes the interests of all Ugandans. And so, NRM, under the able leadership of our great revolutionary leader, the great father of the region, His Excellency Museveni, has promoted the interests of all Ugandans. And so when I'm in Rwampara, I must promote, protect, and uphold the interests of all Ugandans through the NRM Revolutionary Party.
That is a public office that you're supposed to, you swear to uphold the constitution and the law. And if it's clear that you're supposed to stay clear of partisan politics, would it only be wise that you accept that advice?
You see, yes, I can agree that there is a law, but sometimes I want to inform you, my brother, that the law is there, but sometimes common sense must overshadow the law in order for the country to move forward. And allow me make this opening remark, please. I want to congratulate His Highness the King of Ubusoga, the Chabazing of Ubusoga, for his 11th coronation. And as the Patriotic League of Uganda, General Muhoozi, the chairman of the Patriotic League of Uganda, has sent his congratulatory message through the Patriotic League of Uganda, General Secretary Honorable Kabanda. And also yesterday, I want to congratulate the Omukam of Toro, the Oyonyumba Kawambi Guru, the fourth, for his 30th coronation. And the CDF and the chairman of the Patriotic League of Uganda sent his congratulatory message to him through the vice chairman, the national vice chairman of the Patriotic League of Uganda,
thank you,
Nwajira Michael Kaguta. Congratulations to our kings.
Thank you. Mufachenanye Moses Omjugujugu, good morning and welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much, Council Banyaji, for having me. A very good morning to these colleagues in the studios and to our wonderful listeners out there. Like you have rightly put it, my name is Moses Omjugujugu, and I am the first deputy dean of other DCs and other CCs. I want to begin by congratulating the NRM first for mobilizing the 2.2 million voters that have seconded the candidacy of our party the party chairman.
You're a lawyer.
I am also going
you're a student of law.
I am also going to
speak. No. I should be able to correct you.
Listen.
You're making mistakes. These are not voters. These are signatures. It does not mean someone who signed will automatically become a voter.
But you must be the register of voters. These are voters, actually.
Okay.
Yes. And I want to really congratulate the NRM Secretary General for leading the procession that presented those 2.2 million signatures. Number two, Banyaji, I have 1 or 2 or 3 people who are the biggest supporters of the big seat. And one of them, the female LC5 councillor, Sinjiro District.
I should be able to host her.
She's called Atsimile Anna. She sends her greetings and she's on the radio listening. And then the other person is a former SEC member, Honorable Katugabudie. He's on the radio listening. And one of the reasons I like that gentleman is very good in terms of having a big heart. When I was at school, he called me from nowhere, said, "You man, I heard that you are at school. Can I meet you?" The gentleman paid my tuition Up to now, I'm ever grateful.
Okay,
And
thank
recently, I visited him in his home in Ikaraki.
Mm.
He gave me a very big coke, which we shall share after here, if you don't mind. We'll
Thank
share
you.
it. Then also,
Thank you.
lastly but not least, I must also add my voice to my brother, the political antidote, to congratulate our kings. You know, Banyaji, these kingdoms play a critical role, one in uniting people, and also encouraging them to work towards development.
Okay.
I must congratulate King Oyonyimba Kabamba the Fourth and our Chabazingo of Soga upon their respective coronation. Thank you.
Okay.
Hope to have a wonderful conversation.
Thank you. Peter Mpaka, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, WestJ, and good morning, our dear listeners. WestJ, on Tuesday, I'll be going for vetting at the party headquarters in Kavule, together with all the contestants from Ankole sub-region.
I bet you are simply a handful, largely unopposed. What vetting is there to do?
Man, don't take it as a joke, because you might reach in the room and somebody asks you a question about the MPs from Karamoja region.
And you
don't know any.
Can you imagine? And I'm going to be denied a ticket of a political organization, ignoring my capacity, but simply because I failed to answer questions.
Those are the questions. Those are the questions.
Isn't it embarrassing?
That's an interview. It's not embarrassing.
Okay.
Because the reason why those MPs from Karamoja, West Nile may not be known is because they are inactive.
Okay.
They are in parliament, but they are seated. But if they ask us...
welcome to the show.
Okay, thank you.
Wakunda Bruce, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Westg, and good morning to my fellow panelists and also the listeners out there. Unfortunately or fortunately, I have not yet received my deployment, so I'm not going to be thanking anyone. But who knows now that Omujugujug is here?
Yes, you never know.
He can influence and I also get something.
I hope they retain you in Barra here as the deputy RCC.
But if Moses here can travel from Kampala to the big city, or Musa from Rwampara to here, whether out of Mbarara, we shall always be here.
Okay.
But it has been a good week. I also want to congratulate my party. You saw the 2 million signatures. Peter Mpaka is here crying. They have neglected other regions apart from Buganda. I don't know if you have studied very well, or you are in the know of how many district chairpersons LC5s are already unopposed.
But by the way,
No. Mujugojugo, these are opening remarks. Are you done?
Yes, it's okay.
No, I'm the presenter here. No. But your microphone is off. Your microphone is off of Jugu. Relax.
So as we enter this contest, it is as good as done.
Okay.
We are ahead of the line. But I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
And I hope we have a good show.
And lastly, our guest, I normally end with guests for a reason so that you get comfortable and feel warm about it. Good morning, Namesake, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wesige Banyaji. I'm profoundly honored and extremely humbled to be in the studios of 91.2 Cruise FM. My name is Ronald Akankwatsa, a civil engineer and an advocate for youth inclusion in sustainable development and socio-economic transformation.
Okay.
Mr. Wesige, on the 3rd of September, I got nominated as a city councillor to represent youth here in Barra City. So it's a very big achievement, and as we start the journey as the youth here in Barra City and countrywide, of course, to make sure that we have effective leadership and good representation here in the council and the country at large. I also want to congratulate my brother, Mr. Musa Tukwatanse, for being appointed as the Deputy LDC for Rampala, and I wish him well as he serves. Also allow me, Mr. Banyaji, to also congratulate the King Oyonyimba for his 30th coronation, serving the people of Nyolo, especially of Tolo, and also most importantly on his mission and vision of empowering the youth in that kingdom. Nice. So I thank you, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Ronald, for joining us this morning. We're stopping for a break. When we come back right into the topic of discussion, we are discussing youth. Give us your feedback. I'll be able to read some of the messages. And later on, when I open the calls, you'll be able to contribute by way of call. Let's stop for a break. We'll be right back. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
All right, we are back at 27 minutes past 9 o'clock on Western Ughanda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends. My name is Wesige Banyaji. We on Plot 12, Motilane, right opposite Ntare School on Boma. If you call it Lower Upper Kacheka or something. We are where we're airing, and you can be able to boost your business, promote an activity, or whichever that you need to reach the people by not hesitating to reach out on us. Just step in here. We shall be able to give you the discounted rates. Don't wait for November, love. That's way too far. You can come and advertise for us. We shall definitely give you value for money. But I have the team with me in studio. Bruce Owakunda, Musat Kwatanese, Akankwas Bronald, Peter Mpaka, and Omujugujugu Moses. They are here to discuss the youth in the body politic of our country. It's already on our social media handles, 912 Cruise FM on X and 91.2 Cruise FM. On Facebook, the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning is 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Bruce, let's start with, we know very well that the NRM is going to have another election over the chairperson of the Youth League. The contest between Brenda Chichoncho and Collins Tanga, where it all started, and the culmination, we know that the NRM disputes tribunal, election disputes tribunal, nullified the vote of Tanga Collins because of the influence of the father. But even away from that, the position of the youth in the party, I know Lillian Abel was the chairperson at some point. Yes, Gaddafi at Nasser was the chairperson at some point. Yes, Kenneth Namara, and all these that have been leaders within the party. Knowing that the NRM is by and large a party that was started by young people in their prime, at least a majority, but now it has been taken over by very old people. As President Museveni has gone by, he has grown with his comrades and they have aged within the party. Are the voices of the youths, do they still matter within that organization?
Well, there is a lot of frustration to begin with that surrounded that entire exercise. Even when you look at the time that exercise was handled. I am not going to get into the details of the petition and all the other stuff. I see some more competent and able people here to discuss the legal side of it. But the ruling of the tribunal is very welcome. And for me, my matter was conflict of interest. That is where my interest was. That Tanga Collins is a biological son of Tango Doi. So there were deliberate efforts to frustrate other candidates so that Tanga can be declared. So now that the tribunal has ordered for a fresh election, we hope we are going to have a more transparent exercise. About the Youth League and if their issues matter, and you see, there is only one slot for the youth on the Central Executive Committee. That is the Youth League. The impact of that slot is what should be measured. Because if, for example, and you see, we must make a clear distinction between the state and the ruling party. If I'm to give this some little bit of background and context, so that I can build my point and drive it home very well. People tend to think like as if SEC is an extension of government.
Of cabinet, literally.
Yes, it is like a fourth arm of the state. It is not. And the mandate of SEC is very clear. SEC does not take direct participation, for example, in implementation of government programs. It does not manage budgets and finances. That power continues to be vested in MDAs. So SEC is not an administrative or operational arm of government. No. It has clear mandate under the NRM constitution and it has clearly stipulated roles. One is advisory. It's supposed to play an advisory role to the party chairman. They are supposed to inform the party chairman about the national mood and the political environment so that he remains responsive to the needs of the population. Two, is they are supposed to coordinate the lower structures and other disciplinary efforts you've seen, reconciliation. Ideally, SEC is supposed to be like a think tank, policy formulation and also policy review. So I don't think that one slot. I highly doubt if Gaddafi Nasser has any influence in SEC when it comes, for instance, to policy or being at the center of the decision-making processes. I don't know if he can stand up to Chigongo, to President Museveni, to Anita Among, to Echodunau. I don't know. But you see, it is not just in Uganda alone. Now, if you're thinking about sustainable development, Wesley, you're thinking about social stability, you're thinking about security, you can no longer alienate the importance of the youth. If you look at the figures clearly, youth now are more than a quarter of the world population. But they remain underrepresented, not just in Uganda here, but the entire world. And when it comes to the continent, it is even a more complex issue. Africa is the youngest continent, but we have the oldest leadership. Spare for like Rwanda and Namibia, on average they have a relatively younger cabinet. But you see, there are institutional and systematic barriers to youth participation in politics. It is one thing, for example, to have a seat at the table in SEC. It is another thing to influence and make things move. So we must talk about meaningful participation. There are economic barriers. Politics is now extremely expensive. For now, to get a constituency, for instance, to be like a Western Youth MP or National Female Youth MP, I don't think if you have less than 5 billion, you can get. You can.
Do you know the amount of money you just said yourself? You've said 5 billion.
Yes.
That is sick money.
Yes.
That's
what I'm saying. Those economic barriers are there. If you are not a proxy candidate of the powers that be that can invest in you, however much brilliant you are, however much articulate you are, however well-meaning you are, trust me, you cannot get a political seat in this country.
Okay. Thank you. Let me get to you later. Yes, Ms. Moses. I am one of the believers of thinking that the youth are overrepresented. Literally, you have the National Youth Council, you have 5 members of parliament, you have a seat at the Central Executive Committee, you have youth leagues, you have youths are everywhere. They have saturated literally every space.
But if 70% of the population is youth and you have just 5 representatives in parliament, so what?
But some of the members of parliament are already youth. So they can still articulate the issues
you will
of
see
their
like
generation.
Asensio there in Bukanga of 26 years.
I want
taking up a constituency.
To tell me 5 people that are below 40 in that parliament off his head.
There are quite many. I can give them to you.
Off his head.
Actually,
I can give you the lady from Kalangala is 1, the man from Mitiana, Zake is 2. You have Nayebare of Gomba. There are quite a number of them. Yes? It's actually 35 and below.
Yes.
Mufachinanye, let's start from the overrepresentation of youths in these spaces. Is it still a problem that we would say youths are not represented, yet we know they have a league, they have spaces, they have votes on the budget? Haven't youths had all that they needed in the 40 years of the NRM?
Thank you very much, Councillor Banyaji. You know, I am the king of youth politics in Uganda and student politics.
You and Maxon Muhwezi.
I am the king. I have been very active and very active in youth politics. I have been in a youth league. I have been in NYC as a leader. I have been in student politics to the level of vice president of LDC. I have been a leader of opposition of Makere. So I have been into youth politics. I know them in and out. And I have been a chief petitioner, by the way. I have petitioned. I organized the Water through petition. I organized NYC through petitions. Even here, the youth league. By the way, even to begin with, I petitioned the president over the youth league elections. Why? Because Tango Doi had his son who wanted to stand for chairperson youth league. He increased the age from 30 to 35. The constitution and in the particular the Youth Act says a young person shall be section 2 shall be that person between the age of 18 to 30, and that's the what we describe as the youth. But they went ahead and increased the age from 30 to 35. I petitioned. When I petitioned the matter, I followed it closely. I told you Katogabi is my friend, is a second member. This Gaddafi is my neighbor in Kampala. So I pushed it up to they discussed it in a SEC, and they passed a resolution that we should align the NRM with the national constitution so that the youth can be between 18 to 30. What went ahead is that Tango Doi mobilized the Secretary General. They did not publish the resolution, and that's how we ended up having very old people coming up to occupy spaces for the young people. But having said that, you can see, like you have put it, that for us in the movement, the NRA, we believe in inclusivity, bringing everybody on board. What we used to call the movement system. We have slots for PWDs from the village level after the national level. we have slots for the women, we have slots for the entrepreneurs, for the veterans, and equally now, the slot for the people. That is the center of discussion today, the youth from the village. And you know how it is formed. There's what we call a college system. All members of the young people of a certain village in Uganda sit down and elect among themselves 5 people. They send them to the parish. Then those ones at the parish, from each village at the parish, they also sit among themselves to elect 5 to make what we call a college system up to the national level, where you come to now to the youth league you are talking about, where again they will sit. This one from 5 from every district, including the other 2 youth gatherers, to now elect them among themselves the leaders of the youth league, including the chairperson of the youth league. And this was going to happen in Kororo, but unfortunately it did not happen because of the hura baru and the higihaga orchestrated by the NRM's chairperson, Electoral Commission, Honorable Tango Doi.
But I want to be the devil's advocate here. Tango Doi was very clear. I did not participate in that election. All that I did was to declare who won the election.
Now,
if I was Tango Doi and Buchure is my son was vying up for a position, and there was a fair contest, and I am the chairperson, and I come to declare the result. What is wrong with it?
Let me tell you.
Yes.
On record, the tribunal has said he is incompetent. He has declared him very incompetent. Has ordered him not to poke his nose in the youth elections that are going to be conducted.
No,
this is a clear indication that he's incompetent, that he's not fit for purpose.
How come?
These are the ones of the tribunal.
Mr. Mujuguju, how is it possible that the NRM will accept the results out of a process conducted by Tango Doi elsewhere? Minus where he has a son.
No.
When does it become a red flag? When he's declaring his son as the winner in a process that was conducted by other officials.
Banyaji, let me bring it to
but you have no problem with him declaring Anita Among as the first vice chairperson.
But we have had a problem with him. For example,
you will give me enough time to exhaust this.
Please, let's allow him. Yes, let's allow him finish. Yes.
You see, Tango Doi, in here, we have had the minister, Pasisi Namuganza, crying foul, saying this man is not fit for purpose. Why? He is crook. He's a crook. He do things in a half-assed way. You have seen here in the tribunal how many rulings have come out of the tribunal saying that what he conducted is wrong. In Hoima here, the flag was given to some other person. Everybody, the deaths that have been orchestrated in NIM primaries, we blame who? We blame the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. In Mbarasite North, in Isinjiro here, he failed. He was on the ground and he was.
Thank you, Moses.
But I want to make one point here,
please,
about the youth participation.
I will come back to you. At least you've given us background of what happened. Let me allow Musa to give us that information that we needed.
Thank you so much, my brother. As I've said, I am the NRM General Secretary for the Shema District Youth League, meaning I am a member of the NRM National Delegates Conference. I'm a member of the NRM National Conference, and I participated in voting for regional chairpersons. I participated in the voting for the youth league leaders, though we had voted for the Chichoncha and the Tanga, and because of the havocs that happened, there was postponement.
What exactly happened?
One of the things I want first to make a disclaimer from my senior here, Omujugujugu.
Okay,
one of the things I want to say is that Tango Doi has been a cadre of the revolution. And he has served NRM revolution well, because
he's young. I am sure
for whatever we credit as the party, as a revolutionary party, we first look at how have you served the party, the interests of the party, especially at the top level of the chairmanship and the presidency, and then we start going down. So, to me, and to almost all the cadres, we accredit and we give credit to Tango Doi for running the Electoral Commission. Now, back to the issue of what happened in Nambore, rather in Kororo. We participated in the election
I have a feeling.
No,
that,
no, I am giving the analysis.
Yes.
Let me giving the analysis.
Let's give him an
Let me-
opportunity. Let's.
Where are you there? I was in Kororo. Wait.
Can we have order, Peter?
It is
Peter,
okay.
can we have
Now,
order?
now, while in Kororo,
Mm.
of course, Tang Collins as a candidate, Chichoncho Brenda as a candidate, and all other candidates, all of them were vying for support, and all of them had support. But Tanga Collins and Chichoncho Brenda were immediate competitors. And I must say that frankly, Chichoncho had more votes than Tanga Collins as we were lining up.
Where do you verify that from?
I was part of the lines. I was there with my eyes on. Look here.
So
Eyes on,
should we take
minds
it,
on.
should we take it from you that you think the system rigged for Collins Tanga?
The truth of the matter is, I concur with the tribunal's ruling of cancelling the results and ordering for organizing a fresh election.
Did Tango Doi rig for the Sun?
Tango Doi, I'm talking about Tango Doi in declaration, because Tango Doi came in to declare. Those who counted were different people, different commissioners. But of course, as the head of the commission and as a person who had interest, and of course that is common to anyone. Of course, you can't have a son and just let it go. So as a person who had interests, of course he must have connived with those commissioners to front his interests. Because Ion Chichoncho had a bigger line and more delegates lining behind her than Tang Collins. Then later on, we saw results being altered and a different person being declared. That's where a war started on. And moreover, what brought more chaos was that even we started identifying non-delegates who had even voted.
Okay.
And that's where chaos started on, and even the head of state had to intervene.
Thank you.
And he intervened and guided through a phone call that we get off Kororo, then he will give us a new date. Himself will be present, by the way. He will be there. We have a fresh voting, and we vote for our leaders. And I want to assure the youth out there who are listening to Cruz, because also they are waiting for this information, that the NRM National Youth League chairman, currently sitting, Gaddafi, has summoned all the aspirants at national level and youth MPs to have a meeting at NRM Secretariat on Monday. And after that meeting, we highly suspect that on Thursday, we are going for a fresh election.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Let me bring in a member of the opposition. When you see that all that is happening within the NRM as far as positioning of the youth is concerned, is it something that is synonymous with your own party, or you're just watching from a distance and you're wondering how democracy is playing out within the NRM?
But I've said it before, and I can repeat it again, that in East and Central Africa, and in the whole of Africa, NUP is the best party. Very well organized. And everything that we do is as smart as you can see it. Now, Tango Doi verbatim said that he is an expert on elections. Even the president calls him and asks him, Tanga chiri chitia. And he replies and says, chiri okay. So according to Tango Doi and the NRM, the youth elections and all the elections that happened in Kololo, that is best practice. That is best practice. There is no single position in that NRM delegates where incumbents or even others who didn't win didn't describe that election as a sham, as an embarrassment, as a sign of the country going to the dogs. All the leaders, Chris Bariomunsi is on record. This vice chairperson Kampala Uhuru is on record. Rebecca Kadaga is on record. Everyone is on record saying this is sham, embarrassing, and for me, I really feel defeated to find that we have two NRM defenders here and they are here boasting, I was appointed RDC, I am so and so, I am dean of a sham system. Something that we should regret, or something that we should regret at this time after 40 years. As a country, we should be crying to find that we are being led by embarrassing individuals. In 1980, President Museveni ran for MP Mbarara North constituency under the slogan "Clean Leadership."
Is that true?
Yes, he was an MP. He was contesting with Sam Kutesa as an MP in 1980. Do you dispute that? Do you dispute? Did you do research before you came here? If you, Bruce, if you didn't do research, stop disorganizing.
But
me.
what's with the heckling?
So in
this
the
morning?
youth election, we had 4 candidates. I want to show you the dirty leadership that we should be condemning here. We had 4 contestants. We had Tanga, we had a gentleman called Otto, then we had 2 ladies, one called Maklin Natkwasa and Brenda. Now, whether if there are more, okay, fine. Now, all these people reported to the tribunal different grounds. Some were struck off the ballot on the last minute. Some were denied the eligibility of Tanga Collins, which he even talked about. Then him being added about 400 votes. There is no ground that the tribunal said this is a false allegation. You understand? Like all the grounds, the tribunal agrees with them. But remember, we are talking about an electoral commission which is headed by somebody whom the president consults and says, Chirichitia, this is okay. So if being in a sham government and a sham process is okay for our country, then Ugandans, we should better arise, participate in the protest vote, and vote for change.
Thank you.
We need a new band of leaders to take this country in a new direction.
Ronald, we know certainly that you went through a process that got you into office. Perhaps, if not, at least you're on the verge. What's your reading of how the NRM has handled the entire electoral process as far as youth elections are concerned?
Thank you so much, Banyaji. First of all, I'm also a member of the NRM Youth League. However much I stopped at division level, I'm a member of the Youth League from Bara City South Division. So basically, first of all, the point I want to first make is that however much you are talking about the participation of youth in politics, it seems as if that there are people who are participating on behalf of the youth. And the NRM Youth League in particular is the only entity of youth that is not comprised of youth. I'm telling you here, we have here my friend is saying that he's a secretary general of the Youth League, but he does not qualify to be called a youth. Who is a youth in Uganda?
This man is below 30 years.
He is not. I'm telling, and he can even clarify.
Who of you is his father?
He can even tell you.
Okay.
He can even tell you so. My point is that according to the National Youth Policy, the National Youth Policy, the National Youth Council Act, the Parliamentary Elections Act, even the statistics according to you, boss, a youth in Uganda is someone from 18 to 30. But look at even people who are contesting as the chairpersons of the Youth League, the Jacob Beyerus, even Brenda Kichoncho, even Tanga Collins, they are all above 30. So basically, there is no inclusion of youth in these party politics and party leadership. She is not. These are expatriates of the National Youth Council, and they are even not eligible to participate in National Youth Council elections. That's why Brenda Kichoncho is coming in the NRM Youth League, which does not care about the age. That is number one. Secondly, let us look at the instance of... Let us look at the instance of the NRM Youth League and actually
let's allow Ronald Akankwasa to deliberate.
Okay, thank you for protecting me. So let's also look at the instance of these leagues of the NRM. It is ideologically not true that these leagues, the youth league, the women's league, the PWDs, the veterans, are created as platforms for youth engagement or to represent the interests of these people who actually appear to be representing them. They are actually platforms for mobilization of the party to get numbers. Because according to the calculation of NRM, they sat and said if we have 5 members of each league, league 6 at every village, that is 30 members on every village. You have 72,000 villages in Uganda. That is already 2.16 million what?
Votes.
Million votes. Now assume.
Let's allow the young man to speak.
Assume that each person actually mobilizes 5 votes. No, I'm actually 26 by that factor. Even if I were not youth, the Electoral Commission would not allow me to be actually nominated to represent youth.
Yes.
So this is why actually these people are against us as the youth. They want to overshadow us. They want to speak for us.
Yes.
No, we as the youth, the real youth,
yes.
the 10 million youth that actually in Uganda. No, I'm not a senior. That's why we are even against that mentality of calling yourself the king of youth, the senior youth. There is no seniority in youth because youth is just a factor of age.
Yes.
You are 18 to 30. If you are above 30, then go and leave youth politics alone. You understand?
Let's stop for
So-
a break. When we link up in the second hour, so I'll give an opportunity to Ronald Akankwasa here, who has brought a very interesting angle. Let's stop up for a break. When we come back right into the conversation one more time. Good morning.
It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends.
91.2 Cruise FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends.
All right, we are back right into the second hour of the show. It's a minute past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Good music, good friends. My name is Wesige Banyaji. I want to appreciate all those that are riding with us. Oscar Mjsha, you're listening in from MISD in Ruti. I want to appreciate you, Mojisha, for taking time to listen to the show. There's a brother of mine called Brian. Is also listening in. I want to appreciate you so much, Brian, for taking time to listen to the show. And yes, sure. Oh, you connected Ronald Akankwasa. There's a gentleman called Brian. We actually met on a bus from Kampala. You're doing fantastic. Thank you. And there's so many, I know, the petrol stations and supermarkets and all these other public spaces that have their speakers loud and clear, catching the big set. Pekamega supermarket, Day-to-Day supermarket, Ruby supermarket, and all these other places. You do us good. The MVPs of the show are those that call in and send us messages and are able to participate in the show. I want to appreciate them so much. There is Agava. There is Crescent Saja, there is Madilu in Hima, there is Zubairu, Mile 5, and there's so many ardent listeners of the big seat. We appreciate you so much. Let me come to Akankwas Ronald here, was telling us the problem of the youth being the so old people that are stuck in that age bracket, 50 years, 48, 46, that are representing the interests of the youth. No wonder we are seeing the skirmishes that we are seeing in the elections. Ronald.
Yes, Mr. Wanyaji, before we went to break, I was telling you that, for example, the median age in Uganda is 16.7, and 73% of the population is below the age of 30. So it's not right, and it's actually a brand to call yourself a young past the age of 30 here in Uganda. Because we see even the United Nations recognizes youth as someone below 24. But here in Uganda, you find a very big man, a mzee of 40, calling himself young. And they give good speeches for us as youth, So I think let me leave that at that. And also about the competence and merit of actually these leaders we elect into those positions of the NRM Youth League and NRM chairman, whatever. You see, the NRM has tried to manufacture a system where going into politics is about how much money you have in the pockets and how much you can actually lie to people, spread propaganda and everything. Because you understand, for example, here in Bara City, the merit of the people who are in the youth league. You cannot even invite a chairman, even if you know him, the chairman of the youth league here in Bara City, to come and tell you the meaning of the manifesto, for example, of the NRM. What are the guiding principles of NRM? So these people just come with money, they come with propaganda, they win these positions, which are even not relevant and actually which don't contribute. Because a league which does not sit in 5 years, they have no office, they have no even representation anywhere, they just come and become active during the terms of elections. Yes.
If we have 5 members of parliament that represent the youth, at least we know majority of them bounce back in other conventional constituencies, from Gerard Karahanga to Mwine Mpaka to there's so many, Rugumayo, and there's so many. Are these as irrelevant? Do you want to paint a picture that all these people that represented the youth absolutely did no representation for this group?
Is there anyone from the NRM Youth League that is in parliament now?
Yes.
Who? NRM Youth League,
okay.
not parliament. NRM Youth League. That is why.
For purposes of guidance.
NRM, that
What
is the
does it
question.
mean? Nani, Rugumai was in a youth league. Mpaka was in a youth league. Nyamutoro was in youth league.
They
Undertaker
were
was in-
MPs of the they were youth MPs in
But
the
they are in
NRM
youth
party.
league. They are in
And
youth
also-
league.
Was he the chairman?
And
of the
also
NRM
for
youth
purposes
league?
of
Can I
guidance.
have one person speak
Was
at
he
a time?
Was he the chairman of the NRM youth league?
Not the chairperson as because it's one person, but they have been in their
okay,
respective
okay.
districts.
Actually,
as
let me
deputy
also
bottom
guide
line
him.
is that-
Let me also guide him that currently Diana Kampe, who is aspiring for National Female Youth MP, is NRM Youth League chairperson for her sub-county. Kanyesi Jemase, who is aspiring for National Youth
This is the same league.
Female MP,
This is the
is
same
a
league.
national, is a NRM league chairperson for her sub-county in the Yantonde
Okay,
district.
I think you've
Likewise, Tukakwanz here, likewise, Tumwine here, they are all members of NRM Youth League.
Okay, please.
Okay, the point is, we are talking about transition from the league then into politics of the entire country. The people you are talking about, all of them are just in the NRM Youth League, full stop. And my point still remains that the NRM Youth League is just irrelevant. It's about mobilization of numbers. It's about mobilization of numbers to make sure that the youth are actually in the politics of the NRM.
Wait.
So also to conclude on that,
Please.
Mr. Banyaji, to conclude on that, let's look at the candidates who are actually vying for the positions of the NRM Youth League, the chairpersons. Look at the Jacob Bayeru, look at the Brenda Kichoncho. You know for the fact that these people were interdicted by the IGG for embezzling 800 million under the National Youth Council. So these people are already corrupt, and they are even going to the NRM. NRM is welcoming them with good hands, saying that you come and lead the youth of Uganda. You know for the fact that they embezzled 800 million, and the issue is still in court. But NRM is insisting that let us welcome these people.
Okay.
A party that should be fighting even corruption.
Thank you. Mr. Wakunda, do you know this as a matter of fact? That there was an indictment on Jacob Beyeru for embezzlement of 800 million Ugandan shillings by the IGG.
The entire National Youth Council.
Yes.
No, there were rumors that the entire executive, I think, the composition of the executive of the National Youth Council had issues with the money. But I saw the IGG dispel that letter that had leaked shortly before we went into these elections.
Okay.
So I don't know if it is a matter of fact or his basis of saying that. If the issue is still in court,
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Let me tell you. This gentleman, Ronald Kankwasa, he needs to do more of reading of the books and understand the history of the youth movements in Uganda and how they have
But stop threatening.
Number one,
Mr. Deputy D, why are you threatening the young man?
It is too irrational and reckless of him to say the youth league is irrelevant, because we use it as a nursery bed for training for future leaders. And I can qualify this statement of where many people have come out of the youth league and are now national leaders. I can give an example of Ria Nabe is there. I can give Dennis Namara was a chairperson youth league. The one who Gaddafi took over from Dennis Namara. He has been in Yara as an MP for 10 years. Has now won a constituency, defeated the Barnabas Tinkasimire. We have the Nyamutoros. You cannot really dispel the importance of the youth league. It is there for the purpose of advocating for the young people and also equipping them with necessary skills and attitudes that they would help them to take over the leadership of the country. Only that my problem with them is one, that many of the young people do not know actually what they should be doing with these positions. That's the point we should be discussing. For example, in Isinjo district where I come from, the NRM money has been eaten for this man they sent for facilitation. The whole of it has been eaten over 100 million, including the money of the young people. But the young people who their money, who are the leaders, has been eaten. They are seated keeping quiet. If it was me, there would be fire everywhere. Or if they can eat the money of the leaders and the leaders are quiet, what about the other man in Nyachitunda? The other youth in Nyachitunda. What are these? Are these people, the youth leaders, linking to the common youth, to the opportunities? Are you mentoring them? What are you doing with your position? do you click my argument? Not that saying that this thing that does not matter, that we don't need it. We need it. Actually, it plays a pivotal role. It keeps the young people engaged. Only that we have mafias, like we have said, who call them senior youth. I can give an example of Eastern Youth MP. I went to court and petition. Court agreed with me. The man was 47 years old and was presenting the young people. Do you know what happened? The man appealed the decision from the court, and then Justice Baguma on a Sunday evening he delivered the ruling when the nomination is on Monday that the man qualifies. Can you imagine? There's things that hurt us. A 47-year person representing the young people. He was talking about that NRM or MPs in the NRM in the parliament. NRM. This was my work. I petitioned, for example, to remove the new MP aspirants for Central Region. Moses. He had crooks who had seconded him. I petitioned. I removed him from court. Agnes Shaba won. The same case I did for
why aren't you moving with the security? They are going to kill you for
no, you see, when you are doing
for poking your nose in people's
I have received
business.
the same statements. I removed Nako Fiona from the race recently. They had spent over 7 billion in the race. I removed Blaise Kamujisha from the race. He was the one, even the flag of the NRM of the youth league. Of NYC, I removed him. He had spent over 3 billion. But you see, whenever you are doing things not for your own benefit, but for the people, one, people will protect you, but above all, God will protect you.
Thank you.
But what I'm saying, let's clean the movement system. We want the original NRA that stands on the principles that serves the Wananchi, not our own stomach.
Thank you, Musa. The element of money, because maybe let's broaden the debate on what is the impact of the members of parliament that represent the youths. Time and again, we've talked about members that represent the military, and they are simply listening posts in parliament and, knowing the history of our country and where we came from and the contribution of the military. We don't want to see what happened before the 1995 constitution and all that. The youths and how beneficial they are to that age, to that group of people that definitely constitute the majority of the population of our country. Has Rugumayo served the youths of Western Uganda? Has Nyamutoro served the female youths? Let's assess these individuals. Do we still need the 5 in parliament?
First of all, my brother, and to our dear listeners, I want to first of all note that these positions are a necessity to the country and to the young people. Because, as we know, the key roles of parliament, if the young people are not at the forefront of the planning, the budgeting, the passing of the budget, the passing of these policies and laws we always hear of, then, and yet we are the majority, that means those things may at one point impact us, and it may not be good to the country. First of all, what has these positions done to the young people? We have seen in this era of 2021-26, NRM came up with the parish development model. And when this parish development model was brought, it was presented in the SEC of the NRM, later to the cabinet, and then Parliament, because Parliament has to look at the funding and all that. And so, when our members of Parliament, the 5 members of Parliament who represent the young people of Uganda, sat, they requested that since we are the majority, we request that 30% of the money that will be sent to every parish in the country should belong to the young people. So if we had no voice in Parliament, I can assure you that all the money would be going to the parishes without consideration of the young people. And when this parish development model came, most of the programs wanted to be merged with the parish development model. Even the YLP, the Youth Livelihood Program, would be merged into the parish development model. But our representatives in Parliament sat and said no. parish development, rather youth development, youth livelihood program has greatly impacted our young people out there. And we request the House and we request the executive arm to allow this program to continue. That's why even when there is parish development model, still youth livelihood program is still there. That is the impact of the parliament. And also, we've seen many programs coming up, including the increasing of the funding of the budget for the National Youth Council. No.
Yes, it was actually reduced. That's what I know as a matter of fact.
This time around, the National Youth Council budget was increased to 3 billion.
Okay.
You make research.
That is
you
not
make
true.
research.
But I'll get back to you. Peter, the youths in Nairobi, in Kenya, the Gen Z, caused President Ruto to reshuffle his cabinet when he did not plan, when he hadn't wanted. The youths stopped Parliament from passing the finance bill. Or even when it had been passed, it was later recalled and dropped. The youths in Nepal have just literally appointed a former Chief Justice as interim Prime Minister after they overran the state. These are young people. The young people of Uganda, they are all over the place. No impact, zero influence. Even when things are going south, all we hear the youth say rhetoric. They will say, we want this, we want this. How come the youths in other jurisdictions are able to make things happen? Here at home, the youths are only waiting for the adult to make decisions and make things happen for their behalf.
I will refer to the submission of Ronald here, because he has ably stated that the youth in Uganda are captured by king youth, like Umuzuguzug here, senior youth, and the Musa Tukwatani says here, whom we have evidence that he's actually 38, but he's boasting he's the general secretary in his sub-county for the youth. Now, Banyaji, we can only tell the youth to stop lamentations and the rhetoric that you've talked about and take action. And take action.
Are they civically cautious? Do they know their rights? Do they know that they deserve service delivery? Do these youths know?
Yes, they know these things. They know. But there is a fear that has gripped this country that if Museveni is not in charge, this country is going to go into war. There is a fear that, because we are here disparading Tanga Odoi, and we are not disparading President Museveni, who is fronting his son, a serving military officer, to be president. And the whole system shows that. So for me, the system that is in Uganda is a system that is not equipping us. The youth in Kenya have good internet connectivity. They can easily communicate to each other. The same goes for the youth in Nepal. But here, you put data of 2,000, it is gone. To look for another 2,000, it is a heck. There is a lot of unemployment. There are so many societal challenges that our people are going through that we are in a survival mode, Mr. Banyaji. For us here in Uganda, we are only concentrating on how is it going to end today, how am I going to live tomorrow, though we know that we deserve the best of service delivery, but there is no voice to demand. Even the voices that would be demanding are in the cahoots of the ruling system. So for me, I would state it that we need to inspire more our people, especially youth who are serious about change, who are serious about the removal of the government of President Museveni, that let us participate in the protest vote in 2026. Let us all arise and go and vote for change and remove these people who have captured us from power. If we cannot do that, then we are going to stay in the same rhetoric. Even in the years to come, we will still come here, we will have the same Muzuguzugu, we will still have the same Musatkwatanis until we participate in the protest vote, until we all arise and vote Akaruru Kenshonga. If you have been denied the service, then deny NRM the vote. If you've been denied something that is your right, vote for change.
Okay.
That's how we can liberate ourselves.
Thank you very much. In 30 seconds, I want to express my displeasure and disappointment with the young people of Uganda. Banyaji, let me tell you, Uganda is heading for doom if the young people do not wake up. The young people, all they are thinking. Let me ask you one question: how many youth have you seen around reading like a newspaper? But you go to Kenya, where you have mentioned about. You go in the morning, all the young people are where they are selling newspapers. Actually, in Kenya, even they don't put step wires. They don't. In Kenya, they don't put step wires in newspapers. You find them on the streets. Everybody's reading. Is concerned about his country. But here, I was telling my friends here on Sunday. I went to Soho. Young people were full like this at 3 a.m. you had to know where even turn from. They are not
program.
They just want shisha.
Why are you gathering intelligence?
They are looking for
supervising a government
they are
program.
They are not. How many are reading? You see, they are not read. They are not informed.
Let's not fight for microphones.
It is very, 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 very dangerous for this country.
You've made your point.
They must wake up and start acting and become like the 70s. Of them.
Okay. Yes, Bruce.
I don't know if that is to suggest. I agree with my brother Moses, but I don't know if he was supervising a government program at Soho at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But that is not to say that there is no active nightlife in Nairobi. It is actually there if you've been there.
Yes.
But you see, Banyaji, we must agree or disagree, but the youth remain the most important resource when it comes to national development now. So the issues.
But are they taking their place?
Yes, the issues of the young people must be attended to urgently. Like I said,
but
it is not just about representation.
Bruce and the gentleman here. In 1980, when President Museveni, let's go back to 71, 74, when he says that he was fighting General Amin. And in the 70s, President Museveni was barely, I think, about a youth, all right? And he was obsessed with the rule of law, democracy, and constitutionalism at that time. When General Gregory Mugisha Muntu, Aronda Nyakirima, Kare Kihura, and the rest, Akanga, all those young people that we read about, Ruberez, and the rest, Sarim Sare, Rijema, Kagame, when they said, no, we are disagreeing with the way President Obote is governing our country, let us go and fight to remove this bad rule and create a fundamental change. They were young people. They went and made things happen. What in the circumstances do the current youths do?
But you see, Banyaji, that comparison is, first of all, is unfair and it is far-fetched.
Please.
There has been transformation and evolution. You cannot compare what was here in 1980 to what is here today. There is relative stability. There is relative development. And I don't think we can pick guns, however cautious we are, to fight, to go and fight Museveni. There are new tools of engagement. You see the Peter Packers have been doing social media activism and advocacy. Yes. You see what happened in Nepal. You see what happened in Kenya. If other means of engagement are closed, people find alternative means. But you cannot say now people, even these Peter Packers you see, who are even politically cautious and civically aware, are comfortable. They are not willing to leave their spaces to go and fight. You know, there is someone's son who made a statement recently that he spends restless nights crying for the country. I think it is Bobi Wine's son.
Yes,
and it was
in Boston.
It was controversial. And they said you sleep with a white and you're saying you're crying every night. So you see the situation is different. But for me, my point is we should not just fight for participation. No, it should be meaningful participation. You already have those 5 slots of the members of parliament representing the youth. Now we must make a proper assessment and say what has been their contribution in these first 5 years they have served. Go to the Hansard, extract records, and say this is what Rugumayo has contributed, or this is what Nyamutoro has contributed. For a fact, there is a session of plenary I saw, and they were fighting for the youth. They were saying our businesses we are over marginalized. We need tax exemption for maybe like first 5 years for our startups. That is a very good contribution. But we cannot just continue to fight to be on the table when there is no service there, when we don't participate actively in service. My brother here, Peter Parker, the opposition, whom we consider, Parker is the only doctor I know who does diagnosis but does not give prescription. For him, he tells you a disease
and leaves you there.
But I understand he has been in Kampala for 2 weeks. Has been on a propaganda course. I think what he's doing here is part of the material that he's going to present to the vetting committee in Kamocha to get that party flag. Yes. For me, we must fight that institutional and systematic barriers I talked about. There is recently, when these elections were going on, I met a man who was doing what they call gender stereotyping. And he said, you are already young, you are also a girl, can you really manage? And I said, who says someone who is 26 or 27 cannot participate in making decisions? So it must be a collective effort. All of us stakeholders, that we create systems that map out and support young people. Because they bring new energy, they bring fresh perspectives. That is why we are counting on you already. You Mujugujugu is already in government. We are going to give you a scorecard very soon on this show. And
we shall give you scorecards. Ronald, at least we know, away from the crying of we have not been represented, or those that are representing us are actually not within the age bracket, but at least we know there is someone whose voice matters as regards to the youth. Have they been heard? Do they have impact? Are they even saying the right things?
First of all, the people who are there, for example, our MP, Western Youth MP, I've never seen him on the floor of Parliament even debating. That's for the fact. So however much we are arguing, yes, I do. Have you ever watched him? Has he even presented a bill in front of Parliament considering youth issues, like Mwine Parker used to do? So however much we have those leaders, that's why I talked about the competence and even merit. Not voting because someone has money or someone is son to this particular gentleman who is very much influential in the politics of the country. We should vote leaders who are actually merit-based and ideological, that can represent the issues of the youth. But my friend here, Umjugujugu, made a point here which I somehow agree with. He said the youth today are not serious. They are doing things that are not bringing impact in the country. But let's look at how we have reached here. You know for the fact that 42% of the youth are not in employment, they are not in education, they are not in training. So literally they are
redundant.
They are redundant. So what do you want them to do? What have you done as the government to make sure that you harness the potential?
Bruce prevents me from comparing incomparables. But if we were to compare what were the youths doing in the 80s and 70s and 60s, the youths of Uganda in the 50s were fighting for independence across the continent.
And we already have independence today.
Yes. They were fighting for serious things. What are the youths of this generation fighting for?
No, I think let me say this. That when President Museveni captured power, he gives you no leg room. He gives
but
you.
Obote didn't give it to him.
No.
What do you mean? Did not give
you for purposes of guidance.
There is not.
Now,
let us allow this young man to conclude. But let us not lie to the youths. No, let us not lie to the youths.
How many people were shot in Kampala streets on the 18th and 19th? November 2020.
Actually,
were they not doing what Museveni did when he was going in the bush?
Ronald, we have a group of youths now who, even if they went to an interview, they can barely express themselves. They can barely write correct grammar. I have individuals. Let me say this. I have individuals that request to be a part of this show, and only the message making that request is full of grammatical errors. How would you expect me to consider you when you cannot even write a short message correctly?
But Mr. Wanyaji, you cannot.
Why are the youths blaming, not turning the guns to themselves and saying we are responsible for our fate? We have lapses.
You know, there are systemic barriers, and also there are actually barriers that are brought up by individuals themselves. if you have an education system that does not equip the young people with the skills, with the social networking skills and the critical skills to actually express themselves, then who do you blame? Do you blame that young person, or you blame the education system and the government?
We go to the same
Speak
class.
to the microphone.
How come we go to the same class, do the same syllabus, we are taught by the same teachers, and I can express myself, and you cannot express yourself? That is your personal problem. For us, we never went to those. We went to China.
But you see,
Let us allow Ronald.
what is the percentage of those that have excelled in those skills and versus those who have not excelled in those skills?
Okay.
Actually, I want to say this that all this the biggest
Let's listen to
the
Musa.
biggest challenge
Or
the
Bruce
biggest
Owakonda
challenge
and Peter. Let's
is
listen.
NRM. I want to say it from the microphone and on record that the biggest challenge is NRM. Because when NRM came, it found this country in a sorrow state. Now all these people, the population was low, people were not immunized, people would die. Now NRM brought immunization, people are being immunized, the population has grown. NRM has brought UPE, USE, even scholarships at university. People are studying.
You should be seeing
so
how
we have
Bush
very many
is looking at
educated
you.
people who are crying for jobs. NRM has brought peace. People can go in Baza and sleep there. So, because of the NRM's achievements, people are now misunderstanding the achievements.
Okay.
And that's why they are now turning to be problematic.
Let's go to the
You
feedback.
see, you can do good things, but at the same time,
Musa.
the very good things you have done
Musa.
can create a negative impact, especially
Actually,
if people misinterpret them.
Thank you,
What
Musa.
Musa is saying, that the comfort the NRM has created in the Ugandans has made them not think beyond.
Yes.
You can, even President Museveni said that even a
So
fool can
are
survive
the
in
youths in
Uganda.
Somalia?
That even a fool can survive in Uganda. You wake up without anything and you can survive for the rest of your life in
Okay,
Uganda. So
okay.
that comfort
That has been bothering me. This posturing should stop. Besja has been in the trenches for close to 40 years. He has been preaching defiance. He has mentored very many people. But for how many days he has been incarcerated? Nobody has even demonstrated by banging a saucepan.
Yes.
The Peter Packers, who are supposed to be fighting for his freedom, are clamoring for cards. They are looking at the salary of parliament. When you look at Joe Senyonyi, he does not look like someone who has been in the struggle. He has a lead car. He has entitlements. He runs. So, and you expect Joe Senyonyi to go to the bush?
The
And
comfort.
on that very note,
Okay.
Peter Mpaka has made a
Okay,
statement.
gentlemen. None of your microphone is on. Let's go now to the lifeline of the show. The telephone calls and the feedback. Let me go to Cruise TV. I have a couple of messages that are coming in from Cruise TV. Julius Larry, you're streaming live from Fort Portal and you're having the... Gentlemen, let's listen to the feedback. Mpango celebrations were successful yesterday, Julius is telling us, and you'll soon be unveiling the Omugo. We can't wait to see. Thank you, Julius, Larry. I have Brian Tumuhimbise, who is also listening in and watching the show. Aiden Tumukunde, you're watching from Uganda. Gilbert Barikudembe, you're watching from Rwampara. And you're telling me that I should tell Musa that nothing is going to change there. Akram Bashira, you're listening in. Andrew Tumusime, you're saying nowadays youth are used to build gangs called a Gari. Other than this, the regime youths have no role. Thank you. Mohanji Davis, I can see you. Mwebaze Gideon, you're watching the show on Cruise TV. I want to appreciate you. And Gideon, Jim Katurebe, you're watching the show. Etigo Julius and Kwase Pade, you're watching the show. I want to appreciate all those that are locked onto Cruise TV watching the show. Let me go to Facebook. Dallas Official, who is saying the NRM Youth League's effectiveness is championing young people's interests is questionable, given the recent controversy surrounding Collins Tanga's election and the perceived conflict of interest due to his father's role in the Electoral Commission. I think the grievances of the youth in Uganda will be considered and implemented because some youth leaders focus on personal agendas. I have Laban selected saying, why is it that NRM is becoming a problem through politics? Luke, you're saying, why do discuss the NRM elections for the whole year? I'm seeing political parties fielding flag bearers. Where are they getting them from? Nash Brazil, you're in Yahangarwampara, you're listening to the show. Edson Tumshabe, you're in Yakiz and Kakoba. Jordan in Isinjuro, you're streaming all the way from Mbale district. And I have Dr. Danson Akampa. You're saying a youth chairperson, Rentang, a sub-county in Isinjuro, that Tangodo is a disgrace to us in the NRM fraternity. Thank you so much for those messages. And we want to hear from you now on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Call in and let's get to hear from you. 0752-912-912 and 070-912-910. Call in and let's get to hear from you. Because we asked, as the NRM is heading back to the polls for the Youth League chairperson after the party's tribunal nullified Colin Stanga's election, citing conflict of interest from Dr. Tango Doi. Beyond these controversies, as the NRM Youth League truly championed the interests of the youth within the party and the country at large, or it has fallen short. Nwajira Yona Remy, you're appreciating the show. You're listening in from Kashonji in Chirukura, and you're saying, I don't really think our interests are young people have been championed with a huge percentage of unemployment striking us. John Pro, NRM will never be the problem, but we are the people are the problem. Alan Burns, the problem is that the elections of this country is just a shadow showing that there is democracy in the country, yet there isn't. NRM is driving the country backwards. Thank you so much for the feedback. Matsko Jackins, you're listening in all the way from Ivanda University. I want to appreciate you. Crescent Saja, big contributor of the show. You're saying now you see, if though you're the one, you can't let your own children lose elections. I agree with what Tango Doi did. Ruyanga and Hilax Martinelli, you're saying actually many of Ugandan youths don't know their CP, and well, thank you so much. Let me get to the calls on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The big seat.
Yes, Cruise FM.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, you're speaking to MC Muhereza straight out here, Katibani. Kamwenge.
Yes, Muhereza from Katibani.
Yeah, brother, first thank you for the show. And the panels that you have in the studios of Cruise FM. But for all your information, Mr. Braga, yesterday, very early in the morning, the radio went off. Up to now, we can't access you.
Oh, that's sad. We are going to talk to the technical team to make sure that all that is worked on. Sorry about that.
Okay, bro.
All right. Let me pick a bit more calls on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Call in and have your say on the position of the youths in the body politic of our country on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The big set.
Hello,
yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Godbrace from Cheshire. Yeah?
Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
I just called to thank you for the program. And I see that the problem in Uganda is the party members.
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Is the party members who are looking for their individual interests. Because we are seeing many independent candidates from different parties. When they are denied from accessing the card, they decide to come as independent. So
Yes, we've gotten your point. I want to thank you. Let me pick one more call before I came back to the panel, and we call it a wrap on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The big C. Hello, caller. The big C.
Yes, Wesley Banyaji Braga.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Wesley Banyaji, and thank you for the show.
All right, thank you so much for catching it.
This is the People's Council Kajon's Parish, James County, Bushenyi District, Jordan Morata, and I'm calling in from Chamko Bushenyi.
Please write.
On this issue, I think it doesn't really make a sense for the youth to be represented by those old people. Because if you are not a lame, how can you represent the lame? It would be better if they choose from the youth. Because you may find a person is having 46 years that is representing the people who are 16 to 24. How are you going to represent them?
Okay.
It would be good if we are represented by the people who have the same age like us, who know our problems, who know the conditions and the situation we are passing through. Because these old people is not ready to know how I suffer with the data, how I suffer to pay the tax of the TV, how I suffer to pay the tax of electricity. But for actually, this is my submission. Thank you very much, Mr. Wetige Banyaji and the panelists.
All right, you appreciate it. On 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Call in and let's get to hear from you. The big set.
Hello?
Yes, caller. Good morning.
This is Ramsey Michael calling in from Rachiganda Rovindi.
Yes.
For sure, we are totally disorganized in this country. We have to find all the people above 35 even start representing us in the parliament. For sure, we are totally not agreeing with that. But it is like that way, as we agree and we choose these people who are going to present us very well, they will be totally representing us. We find that this who is in the studio, the man who is above 30 but is representing the person who is 20. For sure, it is not good.
All right, we appreciate it.
So
sorry, just we've gotten your point. Let's get to a second topic a little bit as we get to part here. We saw members of the NUP arrested and they are now remanded. And this is because of a colonial law that disallows assembling and carrying out military drills. And some of these members are actually contesting to get flags for the party, but also be a part of the general election. What does this mean for the party? Peter Mpaka, talk to us about the state of affairs at Kavule, knowing that the police is picking up some of your comrades. In fact, you could start with why you're not behind jail.
NUP, Fetuli Solidi Muko, we are solid, we are serious, and we know that whatever is happening is just political witch hunt. These are Museveni's underhand methods to make sure that he tries to disorganize the party and its leadership. But we are the hope of Ugandans for a new Uganda. So I want to encourage people that whatever is happening is witch hunt, and we should not give it a lot of focus, because that's what the government wants. That's what the dictator wants, that we minor on the minor, and fail to concentrate.
You major in the minors.
Yes, we major in the minors and fail to concentrate. Like I've said, we are going for vetting. Those who will be chosen as flag bearers will come and contest, and will contest vigorously this time to see that we win and give Ugandans a fresh look of what is needed.
Okay.
Whatever is going on, we hear there are secret meetings to arrest the president, to arrest the secretary general, to arrest all the other leaders. I can assure you that our leaders are strong in spirit and in body, and are still offering leadership to the party.
Okay, thank you. Bruce, what is happening at Kavule arresting some of the individuals that took part in the military drill? What is your take?
Well, for the first, I don't condone kidnaps or things of the sort, but for Mfumbiro, I wish they can take him until we finish general elections.
This man is contesting to be Nakawa member of parliament.
That does not make him
immune to the criminal justice system.
Criminal justice system. But you see, you cannot make paramilitary drills, and you want to behave like the army, and you say the state is not the wrong arm of the state is not going to catch up with you. But I do not have the clear details of his arrest. For me, I believe it is an arrest, and I have very much confidence in our security organs and our organs of the state that he's going to be paraded in court and prosecuted if there is a case to answer. But of course, it is the season. Some of them thrive on this drama. If you're not, that's why I'm worried for Peter Parker. He either works for government or is genuinely opposition. But those are the usual gimmicks by the opposition. If you're not arrested, you are not making news. Therefore, you have no appeal to the voters.
Okay. Umujugujugu. Your government is arresting members of the NUP that took part in the military drills. And some of those are participating to be members of parliament. Doesn't that encumber their process in getting their journey in getting to parliament? Is that a free and fair process in it?
I am happy the moderator is a lawyer. And as a lawyer, you know, in Uganda constitution, I think under Article 98, it is only the president with immunity when he's still in power. Nobody is above the law. If you are aspiring member of parliament, you want to go against the law by participating in military drills when you are not a soldier, and you want the state to look at you and clap hands for you, people must understand two different things. There is what we call a state and government. The state will be there to make sure that the government is protected, and the military will be there to create peace and stability and order.
Can we allow the submit?
And the military will be there to make sure it creates the order and peace. Then the police will keep it. And these are not kidnaps, Peter Parker. These are arrests. You must understand there's a difference between kidnaps and arrests. These are not witch hunt. Why haven't you been arrested? Why are you here? If there's aren't your position?
Are you sure I'm going to reach my home?
You see, you should stop playing politics of good.
Am I going to reach my home?
What I want to say is that it is important for people to know that in Uganda we have a constitution. In fact, we are celebrating 30 years of solid constitutionalism and rule of law in Uganda. Before, we have not had it. We would have a constitution that would last for 6 months, for 90 days, but we are celebrating 30 years, comrade, of solid constitutionalism. Therefore, there is a law and will protect the citizen. You cannot participate in issues of military when you are not a military officer and expect for the state to clap hands for you. The wrong arm of the law will catch up with you. Play your policy very well, mobilize people, but do not wear military attire, do not participate in military drills and expect the government or the state to look on. They will come for you.
It is a unique case. He has a criminal record in the past. He's a petty thief. He was at one point arrested for stealing a TV set.
I am inquisitive to know whether you have a personal vendetta against the person of
So, for a seasoned thief of his stature, I think he deserves to be there for some days.
First of all, I want to say that you see, all those are products of NRM, like I said before. That because of the peace, the tranquility, the security, it is the reason why you see all this happening. These people, and what annoys me and disturbs me much is that these people know the position of the law. They are able to read the constitution and understand it. But again, that the people doing wrong. They know if you want to do military drills, it is the duty of state to ensure that every able-bodied citizen of the country undergoes a military training in defense of the nation. They know it is constitutional. They know that it is the duty of the state to protect other people's rights and interests of the state. And Article 43, they know. They know clearly. But you see them going against that. So to me, when I see the state coming out to arrest these people, and actually, I recommend even them. I recommend them to be taken to Chankwanzi, or Kaweweta, since their interest is military drills. Let them officially be trained and become real soldiers into the Ugandan force. Otherwise, we shall not massage this, because we know we have monitored our neighbors closely. If you go to DRC, one of the causes of the instabilities in DRC is allowing these military groups to do whatever they want in the country. And you find the national security has no power over these military groups. So in Uganda, under the able leadership of the great revolutionary leader, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, of the great generational leader, CDF General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, we shall not tolerate that, allowing people to do military drills at our look. And lastly, I want to say that on 23rd of this month, all Ugandans are gathering in Kororo. We must accompany our great revolutionary leader, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, as he's going for nomination. This is a historical day. CDF General Muhoozi Kainerugaba has requested all of us PRO members to go and accompany our great leader, and we shall go there.
Let me give you a second before I give our guest to close the show.
You see, we are at a loss when these able leaders here keep saying that what was in Kavule at the parade was a military parade. Was there anyone who was armed? That's why I said that the government of President Museveni does not give youth any leg room. Because the story is that even in those foot soldiers of NUP, there were CMI agents, there were soldiers who had infiltrated, who had been inserted in there. That's why they are calling it a military parade. But I can assure you that Ugandans who want change is at the door. Thank you very much.
He has called them foot soldiers. Did you hear him?
Let's have Ronald close the show.
You see, Mr. Wanyaji, in George Wells' Animal Farm, there was Squira, and his main job, he was the chief propagandist of Napoleon. His job was to actually paint a good picture of everything Napoleon was saying, even if it was wrong or bad. So that is what my friend here is doing, Mr. Musa Tukwatanse. And I, for the fact, I don't support totally the issue of actually arresting political opponents. It's a threat to democracy. And I can tell you they are actually maybe targeting that they should prohibit youth. Yes, not being nominated, and also to stop youth from actually participating in politics, because the young people are looking at politics as something that is a danger to their lives. So I don't support that idea. And however much I don't support that idea, I also want to request. I also want to request the NUP team that they should also look at politics of ideology, not just parading people, not just saying kunga Uganda, our power. They should actually look at bringing another alternative agenda for Uganda to transform economically and also to develop the country at large.
Thank you.
It's called Purkor. So at one time, Seven said Purkor says on one hand and on the other hand. So he would say which hand. Now this man is there, he's here, he's nowhere.
Thank you, Ronald Akatkwasa. Thank you, Omujugujugu Mufachenanye. Thank you, Peter Mpaka. Thank you, Musa Tukwatanse. And thank you, Bruce Wakunda. My name is Wesige Banyaji. My punchline this week, I have a friend of mine called Joshua Tkesiga, who is marrying his beautiful fiancée today at Igongo. We are going to be catching some meat. The Premier League is back. 2:30, Arsenal versus Nottingham. It's going to be airing here on the big Cruise FM. Let's meet next Saturday on the big seat. We have news at the top of the hour. God bless you. Have a fantastic weekend.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of this radio station or its management.
This radio is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission, UCC.